Hey everyone, today will be the last video where we look at the creatures in the core set. We are going to have a look at all of the 5, 6, 7 and 8 cost creatures. In the next video, I am excited to start showing you some of the action cards in the set. To start with, we have Aletha the Huntress. She is a lethal warrior. When she enters the battlefield, she immediately deals 5 damage to the enemy hero. Her stats are a bit below average though. This would be a good card in an aggro deck looking to try and burst down your opponent quickly. You might be able to use Aletha to help push through that final amount of damage needed to defeat your opponent. One thing you may have noticed is that the colour of the cost and creature type changes depending on the card, and this represents the rarity of the card. So Aletha the Huntress is golden in rarity, meaning you can only include one Aletha in your deck. The colour red indicates rare, so you may have 2 of any rare in each deck. The colour grey indicates the card is common, and you may include 3 of each common card in your deck. You would have also noticed a handful of cards that are blue. This indicates the card is a side deck or token card. These are not allowed to start in your deck, but are ready to be retrieved from your side deck. At first this might seem a bit confusing, but once you get playing, it will become clearer. Next, we have Briggsy. This guy has really weak stats, but has the ability to retrieve a card from your discard pile. There are times when this will not be that useful, but there are also times where this could be pivotal. You might retrieve a board clear to reset the battlefield, or a direct damage action to take down your opponent. It can also be a great resource if you are looking to return a golden card to your hand that you can only include one of in your deck. Fortress is an interesting card. It has a great amount of health but no attack. At the start of each turn, it deals 3 damage. Against a full board, Fortress will get targeted and destroyed pretty quickly. But against a small board, or no board, Fortress could be a tricky card for your opponent to deal with. The next card in the set is Gloop. When Gloop enters the battlefield, target one enemy creature. If that creature is still on the board when Gloop dies, it is destroyed. No one really knows how or why this happens. I'm assuming that Gloop somehow manages to trap the creature inside of its stomach, or something along those lines. Jetpack Jumper is the next card in the set. This card is a 3/6 flying creature. It's got fairly reasonable stats for a flying creature. It has quite high health, so it has the potential of flying in for a bit of damage over a number of turns if left unchecked. Mechanical Tiger is a 5/5 creature with no ability. Its stat line is solid, and it also has both the Beast and Machine tag, which can be both a positive or a negative depending on what circumstances you are in, or what deck you're trying to build. The next card is another flyer. Rinhawk is a 4/4 flyer, with the added bonus of gaining additional attack when targeting non-flying creatures. It swoops down from above, gaining the advantage. This is a decent card that will probably be most useful in a beast or flying deck. If you are looking for a card to defend in the air, Jetpack Jumper or a barrier might be a better choice, as you could find a creature with a bit more health. Rinhawk works best as an aggressive board clearing card. Our next card is a golden card. We have the Night Thief. The Night Thief discards the top card of your opponent's deck. This could be a really clutch play if you manage to discard an important combo piece or useful card from your opponent. If your opponent has no way to retrieve the card from their discard pile, it could potentially be a winning play. To top it off, the card's 5/5 stat line is also pretty good. The last 5 drop is a big one. We have Treewell. This guy is so massive the artwork didn't fit on the card. Treewell has great stats and is a barrier too. Treewell is a great pick in draft if you need some larger creatures. His excellent stats and defense capabilities will make Treewell a popular choice in the 5 cost category. Let's move on to the 6 cost creatures. And first up we have Brownlee. Brownlee is golden in rarity, so you can only have one Brownlee in your deck. Brownlee has 6 attack and 7 health, which is excellent for a 6 cost card. Brownlee also protects your hero, as your hero can't be attacked while Brownlee is on the board. Brownlee is also a bear, which has excellent synergy with Brown Bear and Bear Cub. Energy Booster has miserable stats for a 6-drop. However, if you add up the stats it gives out when it enters the battlefield, you can see that this is a very strong card. Energy Booster gives +4/+4 and flying to a creature, but only for the remainder of the turn. Now this could be enough to boost one of your creatures up, just enough to defeat your opponent. Giving the creature flying means that it can trade into a flying creature if you need a way to remove one of your opponent's flyers. Our next card is another golden card. We have Landafell. This card is a really solid stabilizing card. Landafell deals 2 damage when it enters the battlefield, helping you to pick off a weak creature, or just dealing some damage to your opponent's hero. It also places 3 oak trees on the board. Here is an oak tree. You can see that they are really weak. They only have 1 health and no attack, but they do have the barrier ability, meaning you may be able to stall against your opponent for that 1 extra turn. You might need to get yourself in a better position. They can also be buffed by action cards to surprise your opponent. Now to our next card, Long Swordsman. This card is a good 6-drop with a bit below average stats for its cost, but it comes with a useful ability. When Long Swordsman is destroyed, you get to draw a card. This isn't quite as good as drawing a card when it enters the battlefield, as the card effect could potentially be disabled or may not trigger when you need it to, but most of the time you're going to draw a card and that will be pretty helpful. Mountain Troll is a massive monster. I would see Mountain Troll getting played in decks that are looking to stall till late game. Mountain Troll has solid stats and is a good draft pick if you have no large creatures. You don't want to be stuck with Mountain Troll in your opening hand though, as it's going to be a minimum of 6 turns till you get to play it, just as it would be with any other high cost card. Our next card, Silo, is another golden card. It is the most dangerous bird in the set. It has flying, making it difficult to take out, and it has dual attack, giving it 2 attacks each turn. If you buff this with an action card, you could possibly attack for even more than its base attack damage of 5. Silo will be a high priority card for your opponent to get rid of. It only takes 2 turns for Silo to deal out 20 damage, so be prepared to have an answer for this card. The next card is one of my favourites in the set. The card is Alpine Drake. I was super happy with how the artwork turned out. I feel like I did quite a good job for my skill level, and this card is exactly what I was hoping to achieve. Basically, Alpine Drake is a strong flying creature that can come in and finish off games if your opponent can't deal with it. And trying to deal with a 5/9 flyer is not easy at all. Ice Titan is another strong 7/7 creature with freeze, which gives it the ability to halt an enemy creature for 1 turn. It's another high cost but powerful creature that you might want to consider for your deck. Next up we have Kind Explorer, which is an incredible card if you find you are facing lots of opponents using action equip cards. Kind Explorer not only destroys the effect of these cards, but draws you cards and reloads your deck with more possibilities. This is an excellent swing card when used at the right moment. Even if your opponent only has 1 equip card in play, there is still great value to be had. Lastly, we have Stone Giant. Stone Giant is a massive 8/8 creature. It has the barrier ability because no one is getting past Stone Giant easily. It also has Stun, which lowers the attack value of an enemy creature depending on what you roll on a dice. By the time you get to play Stone Giant, there would most likely be some strong creatures on the board to deal with, making Stone Giant's stun ability really useful. The only downside is that you need 8 creature points to play him. That is a lot of points to build up on the board. So we've now had a look at all of the creatures in the core set. What did you think of the 5, 6, 7 and 8 cost creatures? Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave your comments below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.